Done it again. Hello and welcome to Arsenal Above All. I hope you are all well. The Gunners extended their lead at the top of the table following another London Derby win, this time against Eze's former club, Crystal Palace. Steve's back tonight, and also joining us is another debutant this season. It's Devin, who was at the Emirates yesterday. As usual, we'll look back on the win, sift through the fallout, and look ahead to the tie against Brighton. But of course, before all of that, let's go. Hello. Welcome to show 113. Almost getting to 115. I wonder what that show is going to be about. Anyway, let's introduce the panel tonight. Devin, how you doing, man? Your first cap. How you feeling?
Yeah, I'm excited, boys. Thanks for having me on. Loving the show. I've watched a couple of Stephen's poster on the show, so it's great opportunity to be involved. Can't wait to break it down with you boys. It's nothing better than talking about Arsenal with fellow Gooners, is there? So looking forward to
great stuff. No, I appreciate the support and everything, and thanks for joining us tonight. I appreciate it. And I've also got the man, they call me Stepney, Steve of the Circle. How you doing, bro? Is he there? Oh, he's on mute.
Well, good. Thank you for having me on again, Mike, and the steward crew.
Yeah, it's like old days, isn't it? Yeah, man. Yeah. Great to have you on again, man. I really appreciate it. So let's get into it. Arsenal winning another tough London derby. This time against a Crystal Palace side, which pretty much say right off the bat, probably one of the most organised and most tactically on point teams I think in Europe at the moment. The way that they sort of operated in that first half. Devin, you was there yesterday. What was it like for you in the stadium, just that first half, the way we went about it? Obviously coming off the back of a fantastic performance against Atletico midweek. Was it a little bit of a hangover, do you think, or was it just down to Palace just being so superb in their organisation in that first half?
You know what, for me, going into that game, knowing that I was going to be joining you boys on this to break it down, and the fact that I was going to be at the match. I live in Southeast London, and my boy plays at a pretty high level under 10s football. A lot of his coaches are Palace, and some of them like go down there and got season tickets. So I asked them a little bit about Palace and how they've been getting on, and the key message was that it's a really exciting time. It feels like anything's possible, and it all comes from a really positive, attacking, ready to win matches mindset that Glasner's put in place, starting with what their defense is like, super solid. I mean, if you look at that match, you can see why they went on such a long unbeaten streak. Shout out to Jared, who gave me a load of intel on what they're like. They're back five, deliberately let the opposition have the ball. They have their three in midfield with Sarr and Wharton screening and forcing you to essentially go down the right-hand side. So going into that game, I was of the mindset that we've just come off a back of a 4-0 win against a very, very well-established Atletico team, right? And then the weekend's results, yet again, going in our favour. Liverpool dropped points away to Brentford. So you're looking at it thinking, we've played so well midweek. We played on Tuesday. They're going to play on a Thursday. They've got a smaller squad. We've got more rest. Liverpool dropped points. The onus is on us to really take it to them and claim all 3 points. So going into the match, me and my boy were sat in sort of west lower. I'm an ex-Arsenal steward like Steve. I think, are you an ex-steward as well? So
yeah.
I was sort of looking around to see if I could recognise any familiar faces, and the view was fantastic for the first half. Because I tell you what, boys, Palace's defence, they have to take a lot of credit, because it's the first time. I'm actually going to go as far as saying they're probably the best team we've played at the Emirates so far this season. And I'll tell you why. We couldn't get behind them at any point. We had no corners in that first half. In that first 30 minutes, we created nothing. There's one opportunity where Trossard had the ball, and it came from Gyökeres wrestling to receive the ball down the channel, holding it up, turning, playing it back across goal, and it eventually found its way to Trossard with a tame effort saved by their keeper Henderson. But I hadn't seen a team lock us up like that. No corners, not being able to get in behind. Our right-hand side is usually the part of the pitch, right, which is almost telepathic. From Ben White to now Timber, that connection that we've got on the right-hand side, it started with White, Odegaard, and Saka. It was just fluid, and it was inevitable. You knew something was going to come from that, right? Okay, there was no Odegaard there, but Timber's been playing really well. Eze actually got on the ball a lot in that game from those sort of middle of the positions on the right side. But Saka couldn't get past Tariq Mitchell. I think Tariq Mitchell did really well to nick the ball off him a few times. So I wasn't surprised about how well they started in that first half, because that opening 30 minutes felt like it was going to be a very, very long day. And I actually thought to myself, you know what? I'm not sure where a goal is going to come from here. And then inevitably, Saka receives the ball, gets fouled, and immediately I'm like, here we go, set piece, ole, ole, ole. Do you know what I mean? And so it proved with a Daniel LaRusso type finish from Eze. I mean, that finish, mate, honestly, it was. I think he actually tried to do a finish like that away to Fulham, and I think he didn't quite come off. I think it was Fulham. Yeah. I saw him try to lay it up like that and sort of volley it in on the jump, and it didn't quite come off. But that finish there, boys, my God, I was in perfect view of it from the side-on position in West Lower. So when that ball came in and it got nodded down, I'm not sure who it come off. I don't think Gabriel got the assist, so it might have come off one of their players. But the way he attacked that, going the blind side of Wharton to run onto it and smash it in, my God, it was majestic. It was a bit of magic, and that's why I guess we bought him. But that first half, I felt like that really broke that deadlock. And from that moment on, I was like, brilliant. Now they have to step out. They've got to try and play us. And from what I've learned from speaking to Palace fans, these guys, Glasner, he uses a small crop of players. Like he made 3 changes to the team in midweek against Larnaca. He played a defender at the back instead of Richards, who effectively made the mistake for them to go down 1-0. And he played Hughes in midfield and Lerma, I think. And he brought them out and swapped them in with their regular players. So I knew at 1-0 up going into half-time, these boys would have to come out, and they have a reputation of gassing out around the 60th minute mark. So I was kind of hopeful, thinking, okay, we've broken it down. They've got to come at us. They're going to gas out. We've had 2 days more rest. We've got quality on the bench. You know what? We could probably get a second and maybe a third and steamroll them a little bit. But it didn't quite prove to be that way. In the end, you know what? Whether it's 1-0 or not, I mean, it's a huge result. Again, if you think about that Fulham result that we got, it was 1-0. It wasn't pretty. It was off a Trossard kind of just pushed it into goal somehow. Didn't really head it or anything. Just got some contact on it, and that proved to be a massive result. And today, I tell you what, this result, I say today, yesterday, I feel like I've been thinking about this all day, basically. But this result yesterday is huge, considering City dropped points. The only thing that's missing, boys, is if Spurs got battered yesterday away to Everton. That would have really put the cherry on.
Yeah. We try not to mention that team. I know it's your first show, so I'll let you off. But we try not to mention that team by name. And I know it's your first. I know it's your first show, Devin, but that's a £1 fine. I'm afraid.
They who should not be named, I'll call them that. For now.
But yeah, great takes in that. Thanks for that. And the first half, Steve. In terms of as Devin's touched on the goal itself and the fact that it came from a set piece, and we've had lots of narrative from the usual suspects, from the usual pundits, Spitty McGee, aka Jamie Carragher, and the likes. What's your thoughts on it? I mean, is the moving on a bit, maybe is the open goal, goals from open play, or the lack of goals from open play, is that a worry for you at the moment when you compare it? Obviously, we've had the stats flying around and everything on our attacking record this season, but is that a concern for you overall, or is it just a case of the first 10 games of the season, you go to, you're tried and trusted, you're strong at something, you're really good at something. Why not keep practicing and be the best at it? And will the goals come naturally, or do you have to take into account the fact that the attacking players that we haven't got at our disposal at the moment because of injuries? Do you think that has a part to play as well, or is it something else?
We're rubbish and sack everyone. Everyone else is right. Carragher's right. Neville's right. Jeff Stelling's right. They're all right. We're just a one-trick pony. But other teams should just wise up to it and just not give us corners and stuff. I don't know. Look, ultimately, the set piece thing is.
No.
So that's what we're doing. We're scoring goals. We're winning games. Sorry if my internet's a bit mashed up. I've updated the laptop and it's still a bit jittery, but I'll
that's right.
I'll go on.
Yeah.
It's not an issue. At the end of the day, we're winning games, and that's all that matters. So whether you score a set piece, a corner, a penalty, they don't talk about Cole Palmer's 100 penalties that he scored for Chelsea as set pieces as much as they talk about ours and our free kicks and stuff. It's all part of the game. Goals are part of the game. However you get them, they're all part of the game. We're scoring goals. So you can look at the stats and say goals from open play, yeah, we're not there and blah, blah, blah. But that's how the teams are set up against us and not how we're playing. Because when teams come out against us and start playing a bit more, we get more goals. And that's been true to the games that we played this season where we scored more than one goal. Teams have gone, okay, we've gone 1-0 down. Let's try and attack a bit more. They've opened up, and then we've opened them up. Look at Atletico Madrid. That was a good example of that. The Leeds game again was a good example of that. If you come out and play us, we'll beat you. If you sit back and when we didn't have those answers to those games in previous seasons, how to break down these low block teams, we've now got an answer to it. So we'll beat you. No matter what you do, we'll beat you. I'm not getting carried away because it is only 9 games in and we have been in this position before. But right now, we will beat you. Like, I feel like Liam Neeson in Taken, and just saying, it doesn't matter who you are, we will play you and we will beat you. We're doing well, and like I say, people can talk all they want about set pieces. If we win the league, we win the league because we're worthy champions. If Liverpool win the league, they win the league because they'll be worthy champions. Same as the 115, same as any other team. Whoever wins the league is going to be the worthy champions because they've won the most games. However you get your goals really does not matter. We will click at some point, because as the season goes on and teams are starting to fight for points even more, especially those towards the lower end of the table, and where they have to go and attack, and they can't just go, oh, we'll sit back for this game, because if they sit back for a game and sit back for another game, they'll keep on losing games. They won't get the points. So when they start to open up, you'll see our players start to go, oh, okay, yeah, this is the easy part, and we'll just tear teams apart. So yeah, it's not a worry. We're doing well. We're boring. And it's the good old 1-0 to the Arsenal, but long may it continue.
I mean, it's 1-0 to the Arsenal at the moment, yeah. Obviously, yesterday against Palace and against Fulham, but let's not forget we got fantastic results at home. We've done some high scoring results. We've scored goals from open play, and let's not also forget it's only 9 games in, and we've actually had, in any other season where you'd say, look, you're without Odegaard, you're going to be without Saka, you're going to be potentially losing like Saliba for an injury. You may or may not have Declan Rice, and you're still feeling like you've got strength and you've got ways to win a game. That's got to be taken into account as well, right? It's 9 games in. We've signed a record number of. I've never seen us sign this many players in a single window. It's unprecedented. It's overdue, because let's get it right. The reason we moved to the Emirates was to be able to do this from when we moved in, not 20 seasons later. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So we're doing this now, and it's still going to take time. Gyökeres is going to take time to find his form, but I've got no doubt that he will. And when he does, and when we get used to being able to feed him, because I mean, last night I don't think we actually found him. I feel like he gets a really hard press, right? Because they're like, well, where are the goals? Why aren't you affecting games? If you look at the matches and the way that we're playing and how teams are setting up against us, he's not getting a chance to even be fed any chances. One of the key things he said, right, when he signed is, I'm really looking forward to getting assists from teams and from my teammates and being able to finish chances. He hasn't even had a chance to play with one of our biggest chance creators in Odegaard yet. Do you know what I mean? Because Odegaard's picked up 3 injuries in the first 9 games. So unlucky for him. He came back in that match after his shoulder injury, pre the West Ham game that I went to. He's having a great game in that West Ham game. Come back midweek. He's got a man of the match performance, right? I think it's a Champions League match. Can't remember who it was against now. Going to that West Ham game, he's playing fantastically. Really unlucky to get that knee injury. And I bet Gyökeres is thinking, I really want to be able to play with you because you're going to be close to me and you're going to feed me. I want to be able to take chances. Yeah. So everyone is piling onto Arsenal about being set piece merchants. Don't forget, we're missing some of our key players that help us to play open, expansive football. We've signed a lot of players that are going to have to find ways to gel. And we've got a lot of players that haven't even featured yet. People are forgetting that we haven't got Jesus in this squad yet. Havertz hasn't even touched the grass yet. Do you know what I mean? These are attacking threats that we haven't even been able to deploy so far this season. Yet we're sitting pretty. 7 wins, 1 draw, 1 loss. Do you know what I mean? A fantastic goal difference. Let in 3. I couldn't care less how we're doing it right now because I know we've got a lot more to come. They don't want to talk about that because they know if they do, it's a long day for them. They know that.
Yeah, I totally agree. I mean, I think as like I was kind of maybe trying to say at the start of the getting out at the gate off the block, so to speak, the first 10 games, you could always look at a league season. After 10 games, you get an idea of how it's going to map out, who's going to be where and what have you. So we've got obviously Burnley at the weekend, and then that's the 10th game, and then we can kind of see where we are.
Big game. And
you kind of think as Arteta structured it in games like that, so obviously 9 games is almost, so you've got the 10th game, you get out of there, the teams we've had to play, the places we've had to go to already, we've got those out of the way. So now you look at, what was it, 23, 24, when we went to Dubai, and then we just went on the madness in that run, and we started scoring goals left, right, blowing teams up left, right, centre. So it seems to me it could be like that. But the only thing, guys, that I think is going to, throw a spanner in the things, is going to be the injuries. You mentioned it before, obviously, Devin, about picking up injuries. Declan Rice looked like he's got a chronic kind of back injury that he's nursing at the moment, and then Martinelli picked up something at the end. I don't know if you kind of maybe picked it up, Devin, and he was there. Maybe you're too busy celebrating the win, but at the end, apparently he was hobbling off, Martinelli. Obviously, Saliba came off as well. And Saka was ill, so that's probably why he didn't have a great game.
Calafiori came off as well.
So it was kind of a, will it be that? Is that going to be the only thing you think, guys, that's going to stop us really? You said we've got this massive, what's really so, this squad is just as strong as I've ever seen it as an Arsenal fan. Is that going to be the thing that's going to stop us really? In terms of being so badly jinxed with getting hit in the same areas. First it was the attack, and now it seems like it's sort of the other side now. But is that the only thing that could stop us?
I feel like there's two things here. I reckon a little bit like what Wenger put in place, right? At the very beginning of his reign, he began to enforce a brand of football that ran right through the club. So you got players who've come in to the first team squad: Nelson, Smith Rowe, Saka. Before them, Iwobi, right? These guys came in, we have to slot into a system. So I feel like we can call upon a Waneri, Lewis Skelly, and maybe some other gems we know about Dowman already that can come in and step in should our senior players be unavailable en masse. But I feel like we can put out fairly strong teams, even with the injuries and some of the question marks on some of the players. None of those injuries that came yesterday against Palace looked serious to me. It didn't look scary, like, the stretcher's out, he's hobbling, he's got his hands in his face, he's crying, it looks serious, it looks bad. Post-match, Arteta didn't have a lot to say because he said it's going to take a bit of time to assess it all, but it didn't seem like anything was drastically serious. And we've got a midweek League Cup match to really see, right? We expect there to be some rotation because it's the League Cup, and that might be because of the League Cup and partly because we need to rest some of the players that might be in the red zone, and also on top of that, players who are injured, right? So some of our players who've basically been stalwart so far might have to stay in place, and others may have to get rotated. But I feel like if we're strong enough defensively, and this goes back to my point about the Wenger days, Arteta's put in place a real system and structure defensively. So I feel like if Saliba's not there, back in the day when I saw Saliba got injured against Sporting in the League Cup and that basically KO'd his season, everything kind of fell apart thereafter. After that injury, we kind of fell away, right? Now, Mosquera coming in, I mean, I'm so impressed by this guy. I don't know how other clubs haven't gone and got him, because so many clubs are crying out for centre half. Liverpool, United, they're all, Chelsea, they're crying out for centre half, and we've got them stockpiled. Nketiah made his Premier League debut, looked very handy yesterday when he came on. I wasn't sure what to expect, but he's another versatile defender. So for me, I feel even if we've got injuries, we've got a system and we've got quality players in place who can come in, slot in for a game here and there, do a decent enough job and get a result. And if it means having to be a set piece deflection off a bum cheek, I'll take it all day at this point. It's about getting through and getting into the next round. Because I want to see us lift this trophy. We've only won it twice in our careers, in our history.
Paul.
2 times only. And you've got clubs like Liverpool and Chelsea who've won this an obscene number of times, Man City as well. It's high time we took this seriously, and actually it's an opportunity for our massive squad now to actually compete and lift something mid-season. Nothing that'll do everyone a world of good.
Yeah, 100%. What are you thinking about just the whole, the way we approach that game, Steve. Obviously I was talking to Devin before and touched on it just now. This is a chance now for players to show that they're hungry and that they want to, they want to feature in the first team, because the levels have gone up. You've got people playing at the top of the game. Timber, again, another outstanding performance. Right back. Calafiore, I thought he was really, really, really good yesterday, and I think there was a heat map where they showed that he literally stayed. Pretty much, he done a lot of his work on the wing. He wasn't, appearing all over the place. He was really disciplined. He's at the top of his game as well. Obviously, we know about the two in the middle, super many. So anybody coming in has to, deliver. Otherwise, they know that they're going to be sitting down, because that's the level. That bodes well, right, for Wednesday night? Against a guy who rubbed a lot of people up the wrong way. The manager, Fabian Herzog, with some of his comments after, Rice's red card last season. But what's your thoughts on how we approach that? Obviously, with what we got to come at the weekend. Okay,
I will start with victory through harmony. That's our club president. Yeah, that's what we're like. Our team is very, 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 very together right now. If you go, as Dev was saying, player for player, Kepa comes in. He's an international goalkeeper. He's Spain's number 3, I think. But he comes in and the level doesn't drop. Yes, people might be a bit like, oh, I don't know, he's maybe not as good with his feet or whatever. He's still a top keeper. Do you know what I mean? And the level doesn't drop too much, so we're good there. You look at left back, and he's got choices here, so he's got options. He can even play Miles Lewis-Skelly at left back and stick Hincapié in as the left centre back and Mosquera in as the right back, the right centre back, and then you've got Ben White at right back. You can stick Ben White at right back, and do you know what I mean? Put Mosquera on the right hand side, whichever way you want to do it. In the middle, Norgard comes in, and Marino comes in as well. That makes sense. The attacking wise, you've got Ethan Ranieri that will come in on the left hand side. So Martinelli, Trossard started, maybe Martinelli comes in on the right hand side. The captain probably does start, so it is Saka that's probably going to end up starting there. But we have young players like Max Downman that can come in. I think up front as well, I think Gyökeres might just play. It's another tough game. There's no easy games, and it's easy to say a game was easy after you've played it, because then you've played it and you know what the outcome is. So this is another tough game. It's another test. It's another test for the players. I do want to win every competition, like Dev says, and like Neil always says, the quad. You've got to be for the quad.
Yeah.
We are just a different beast. So it's victory through harmony. We will win together. We're playing and do have, but we go, okay, these players will be coming back at some point. So there's no immediate drop off where we're going, this might be an issue, this might be a problem. We're looking at the games and we're going, okay, yes, this would be a tough game. Brighton will be a tough game. They beat Man City already this season, for example. So when people look at it, you go, well, they beat Man City. So if we're not on our level, then yes, we could lose that game. But at the moment, there's not a team in the league that is better than us. There's not a team in the country that's better than us, and that's not being boastful. That's just being factual, because we're probably only conceded 3 goals, and we're not even conceding chances for Raya to make a save. The one save they did make was Nketiah getting his head to the ball. He classed that as a shot on goal.
I'm not even sure if that is a shot on goal, honestly.
Well, I didn't think it was.
They put it down. They put it down as a shot on goal, man. I just didn't. I don't think they wanted us to go through the whole month of October without conceding a shot on target. They didn't want to give us that.
It's fine. Right now, there's not a team. There's not a team that makes me go, yeah, we can't beat them, and we can. And I'm just talking about the league. The Champions League is different. It's a cup competition. Yes, it's in more of a league format, but it's still a cup competition where every game you pretty much have to win 7 games to get through to the next round, if you know what I mean, or to avoid the playoff sort of thing. So in the league, you sort of go, okay, there's not a team that is going to outscore us because we're not conceding many chances for you to outscore us. The only team that's going to beat us in that sort of sense is us with our own mistakes. I would say it's still going to be a tough game against Brighton. They're no mugs. Crystal Palace as well. But I know people were going, blah, 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 and you've got an easy run. No, there's no easy run. We just have a game at a time. We've played Palace. We've beaten Palace. Palace they were an excellent side. Cup competitions means that there's no room for error. You have to win, sort of thing. If you don't turn up, you get beaten. One of the things that we used to do under Wenger a lot, especially during the latter years, was our players wouldn't turn up, and even in Arteta's early reign, players wouldn't turn up because they'd think they'd won the game before they'd even kicked the ball. And now it's just 100% focus, 100% of the time. Arteta won't let them go, we've got a nice easy game here, blah, blah, blah. It's 100% focus, 100% of the time. And if you're not 100% focused, yes, he will let you know about it, and you probably won't be playing as well. So, yes, I think it will be a tough game. I'm not going to say it's going to be a goal fest. I just don't see us conceding. So, 2-0.
Yeah, I just touching on that. That's a good point, and I think what's happened, what we've experienced, what the players have experienced over the last 3 seasons, in finishing second, and being, in those positions of strength in the first 2 title runs, and then obviously not so much last season where it was just Pogba controversy, injuries, Pogba controversy, and we just fell off, and Liverpool just had an amazing season where everything just went their way and what have you. I think that is been laser focused into the players and Arteta, and just the fact that they know they've been through it all already. They can't take anything for granted. And they know that how close they are. They know that statistically, he brings up the stats, doesn't he, Arteta, the amount of points we've accumulated over the last 3 seasons, and it's most and everything and stuff like that. And they know now where we're sitting now. They know, that everyone. I think apart from Man United, I think every team we've played, off the top of my head, I think every team we've played this season have changed the way that they've set up normally than they would when they played against us. You look at Palace. Look what they did to Liverpool a couple of weeks ago. They should have been 7-0 up in that first half, and that's no exaggeration. When they played Liverpool, they should have been 6 or 7-0 up in that first half. But yesterday, Sarr, who's always just a danger going that way, he was doing a lot of defensive work, and so was Pinero as well, who gave away the free kick, which led to the set piece. I think every team, we're giving teams such headaches in terms of how they're going to set up and what the tools that we've got in our box, that what we're capable of doing. As you said, if we could play you at football if you want, but if you want to make it sticky and you want to make it a set piece situation and just duels and everything, because there was a lot of dueling in that second half. There was a lot of 50-50s and stuff in that second half. People go for it. We'll have you at that as well. So it's just, we're good at everything. We just need to sort the open play side out, the offensive style. When we get those opportunities, because we did have a couple of opportunities yesterday, but just the final ball wasn't right. I think Martinelli had a situation, which he always does when he comes on. He just makes the wrong decision. But yeah, what are you thinking about that, Devin? Is that just basically what we're going to have to be used to? Because then that kind of, you look at someone like Gyökeres, who, when the big teams are even changing, you used to kind of think, okay, well, against the big teams, it's going to be more of a shootout. They're going to trust themselves and they're going to come out at you, and you're going to trust yourself and you're going to come out at them. Liverpool didn't. Liverpool didn't come out at all against us. They were really cagey. We saw what City did. We had the most possession against City, the most possession any team's had against the Pep side since he's been there. They changed their whole set up as well. So is that going to fall into, your career, the lower ranked sides, like let's say your Burnleys and what have you, they're not going to come out and play, are they? They're going to be even more low block as well. So does that just mean someone like your career is going to just have to just, fight his way through it, just wait for a chance to come off his, like it did against Madrid, off his fly and stuff like that?
I think Gyökeres is, if we go back to Arteta firstly, he's a man that's all about standards. If you watch the Arsenal All or Nothing Amazon documentary, I've watched it a couple of times, and it's very much, it might as well be called Arteta or Nothing, because he is very much the leader in that, right? And he talks about standards. And I reckon the reason why he heaps praise publicly onto Gyökeres is because, and this might sound like how people talk about Havertz in his early days in an Arsenal shirt, but he's relentlessly doing all the donkey work, whether it comes off for him or not. He's making the runs, he's tussling, he's wrestling, he's doing and showing and applying himself wherever he can for the sake of the team. Yeah. It's not translating into goals, and that's the currency for a striker. And if you're talking about open play goals, you'd hope that they're coming from your star striker wearing number 14, right? That's where you'd ideally like to see open play goals come from. But I really don't think Gyökeres gives a toss,
Yeah.
I genuinely believe that he's there to be part of a winning team. He knows he's stepped up a level. He knows this ain't the Portuguese league. He knows it's faster, far more physical, and you get far less from the refs, right? He knows this from his Coventry days. And coming back into the Premier League, playing against Premier League clubs week in, week out, he's had a taste of it in the Champions League when he's faced City and Arsenal. I don't think he's even surprised. I reckon at this point now, he's in a position where he's got to just keep on at it, and eventually things will fall into place for him. And you'd hope that with a bit of consistency, Saka getting back to his best, hopefully Odegaard, or in the meantime Eze or Waneri playing in that Odegaard role behind the striker in the right 10 position, get on the ball enough in those tight games where you're right that we are going to face low blocks. Guarantee you, we're going away to Burnley this weekend, right? It's a big game. We need to win that match. It's a key match this weekend. We've got to take 3 points. It's not going to be easy against them. They are going to make it hard. They're going to be physical. They're going to be a low block. So I wouldn't be surprised if we've got to resort to free kicks and to corners and to try and play around them in the box and try and nick a goal here or there, a little fox in the box type goal where it's just played across the face of goal and it's a tap in, something like that. I wouldn't be surprised if it ends up being a result where we score by the odd goal and we win the game. I can't see us conceding, but I definitely think that it could easily end up being that type of match, right? But again, we're at this stage of the season, right, where that'll be our 10th league game of the season. We're a quarter of the way through the season by that point, and we can look back on it and say to ourselves, we're not playing what we know to be the Arsenal way, but we are finding a way to win football matches. I feel like the boys, if you can't win, you learn, and they've learned the hard way, and it's been painful over the last couple of years. And so I feel like they relish winning in an unorthodox way. And I feel like as a fan base, we should enjoy this moment, right? We've had a stellar October. Nothing is won. Let's not get it twisted. We've not got anything to show for it, right? Other than mounting a really decent lead at the top of the table, which, can't be understated. But the way that we're playing right now, whilst it might have to continue in the short term, whilst we get the key players back in the way that we play to enable for us to play the open style of football, I still feel like we have the opportunity to find and get goals. And once we open a team up, if the goal comes early enough in the match and we take the lead early, then they can't just continually just sit back, right? Yeah. So the earlier we score a goal, however it comes about, changes the complexion of a match. And in this league, a team like Burnley, these guys, they really do need to try and take something from every single game, right?
Yeah.
We've had a really hard start to the season. We've already been away to Old Trafford. We've been away to Anfield, been away to Craven Cottage and St James's Park. We've been away to all these places and collected all the points. So going to Turf Moor, I fully believe we can do the same thing there. How it comes about, it might be ugly, but I'm here for it. I don't really mind because I know eventually our style of play will start to click.
Yeah, I think it's going to be interesting. Interesting just the way that we're going to line up in that one. I can see a few different bodies in there, especially on the wings. You know, maybe Martinelli in there. I'd say, touching on the Brighton game, I probably would put. I think Gyökeres needs a breather, so I wouldn't be surprised if maybe we might even go Trossard false 9 and maybe even stick Marino up there in there because I think I can see Norgard coming in for Rice or maybe Zubimendi and Norgard. You know, because obviously Brighton are. They're a decent side, as we know. They're very good, you know, on the ball as well. So manipulating stuff. So it's going to be interesting. But yeah, for me, I'm already looking ahead to the Burnley one because we need, like you said, we need to come out of there. No messing about. Liverpool, obviously, an injury time penalty to get something from them when they play them. So yeah, it's and obviously look at Scott Parker, the way he sets them up. Defensively, the record that they had last season as well, they're going to dial back into that. I'll pretty much imagine see how far they can go with that. So yeah, it's going to be an interesting one. Just jump into some of the comments. Thanks for everyone dropping them in. Max just saying the stats are utter nonsense. Just talking about the stats in terms of defensive stuff. When Jose was doing it at Chelsea, they were lauded. Yeah, there's stuff. You sent me something as well, Steve, didn't you? With some of the comments he made. We have been doing it for a while. The only reason why everyone is going on about it is because we're consistent this season. Yeah, absolutely. And then as well, thanks then for your comments. Set piece hate, yeah, bring it on. I love it. They hate us when we're a threat. You know, embrace it. Yeah, absolutely. And again, Mr. G. Gouda, thanks for this. Chelsea won the league with set pieces in 2005. No one said anything. Yeah, absolutely. Everyone is doing it now. So why are these pundits moaning about it? Embrace the reincarnation of set pieces to win. Because that's all that matters. If we score, teams know it's probably over. Yeah, and Arteta has said that in the past. A lot of the times against these low blocks, it's going to be the set pieces which is going to unlock, a lot of the teams, and it's turned out to be like that. I think against Leeds when we beat Leeds 5-0, was it the first goal? Was it a set piece? Was it Timber? There's my memories playing up with me, but wasn't it Timber that got a header? For that, and then we ended up with, and then the game opened up, we ended up winning 5-0. So yeah, it's Arsenal doing it. It creates a narrative, it creates content, it creates clicks, and that's what these people who do the overlap and all that stuff do. Gary Neville coming out saying, well, we must win it from here, and even Roy Keane is even like saying to him, "What are you talking about? You're just saying stuff for to go viral now." Liverpool were in this position last season. I think in a stronger position last season. Didn't say nothing like that.
You got called out of it.
Didn't say nothing at all about that. Just kept stum. But Arsenal are in this position, and we have to win it from here. We have to win it from here. It's a massive. People are deflecting now. Liverpool fans saying, "Oh, it's a massive bottle job if Arsenal don't win it from there."
9 games in, it's a bottle job if we don't win it. 9 games in, so ridiculous. Honestly, it's so ridiculous. I think even us as a fan base, we know. Look, we've been burnt. We've been so close in the last couple of seasons. Yes, it's a fantastic start. Yes, it's been a very hard fixtures list, and we are, stronger than we've ever been as a squad. But I don't think anyone is getting that carried away with considering us essentially having our hands on the trophy already. It's been way overdue. As a fan base, we want to see a league title. It's well overdue. If you told me in 2004, when I was at uni watching us win unbeaten, it would be we wouldn't win the league again for 20 plus more seasons. I would have called you crazy. Do you know what I mean? I would have been no chance. This squad, this manager, there's no way these guys can't continue to win. And then fast forward, we're still waiting for the next league title since 2004. So I feel like we deserve it. We're waiting for it. We need it. but I don't think anyone's getting carried away right now.
No, not
Like, we all know that it's a long road ahead, and we're gonna need everyone, fans included. Bring your boots, like Arteta said, and your full kit. Put your shin pads on. Do you know what I mean? Everyone's got to be ready to go the full distance, boys. Because I really feel like if we can all push in that single direction, we can make a difference and help the boys across the line. I really feel that we can make that happen this year, because I feel like we are super close.
Yeah, that's the look. We're close, right? But we, as you said, we've been there before. That's why I'm not getting like ahead of myself and thinking, oh, this is our best chance and blah blah blah. We went how many days top of the league, and then City beat us.
Record, isn't it, or whatever the record was.
So no, the league is not won in October after 9 games in. We're playing well right now, so we are confident right now. We'd be stupid not to be confident in this moment.
Yeah.
But what happens when we lose the game? What happens to the players when they lose the game? How do they react to that? As you said, we're a squad in transition. I'm saying that because we signed 8 players, and that's a lot of players to sign to not be a squad in transition. But we signed 8 players. So what happens to those players that are new to this situation with our team? How do they react? Liverpool broke the record twice in one window. I've mentioned this before, Mike, haven't I? Come on. They broke the record twice. The champions broke the record twice in one window. So they should be the favourites. Man City have Pep as their manager, who's won the league countless times, 4 times in a row. They should be favourites. People talk about our squad, and we all talk about our squad. Chelsea have the biggest squad in the world. Like, they've got like about 50 teams worth of players just on tap. Like, their squad is ridiculously big, and they're going, oh, we need a centre half. You've spent like $1.5 billion on players, and you couldn't find a centre half, and we got one off Valencia for like 12 mil. Still
mental,
crazy.
They've got Joao Hato, who can play centre back, and he's really good. So I don't know, that club's just we know what that club's about. Anyway.
I said, we're fortunate enough to go. We can play Timber at right wing if we wanted to, because he's that good.
Yeah,
like, do you know what I mean? That's our luxury right now. Is we can play Timber at right wing, because of what he's been doing the past couple of games to other defenders and bits of skill and stuff like that. You go, he could be a winner.
He's so versatile. I mean, he's played at left back for us.
Yeah. He's as you were saying, Devin. Yeah, but he's sometimes he's been popping up in the 10. Sometimes, just popping like balls around the corner and stuff like that, and threading balls through. Just amazing player, absolutely amazing player. But before we shoot out, let's have a look at the table. It's a nice thing to do. And obviously Arsenal first place, and with 22 points. Bournemouth in second place. Sunderland in third place with 17 points, and Man City in fourth place, and Man United bringing up the rear on 16th and getting a bit happy. So just run that back again. Arsenal first, Bournemouth second, Sunderland third, and Man City in fourth place. So. It's all looking good. It's all looking very good. Just hope we can hang on there. Like I said, big game. Always big games at Arsenal, of course. That's the norm, isn't it? Big games. Bournemouth, Brighton. Hopefully we can sort them out. And I've got a feeling it might be an extra time. It won't be extra time, wouldn't it? It'll go to penalties, wouldn't it? So God knows, it might be one of those.
Yeah.
And then just hopefully the players that come in will be chomping at the bit to try and get some minutes, and like you said, they know the level won't drop. Let's see. I think Brighton will go strong. I think you said that as well, Devin. I think they will, because they're pretty much not going to get relegated, so they're going to try and go for a cup run. They've seen Palace win a cup, their rivals, so they're going to want to try and get to Wembley. They've been close as well, haven't they? So we just to see what happens, how they set up.
I don't think we're going to rotate as heavily as Steve suggests. By the way. I don't think we're going to have like wholesale changes like that. No, I don't think it's Arteta style to make that many changes. And who did we have in the third round? It was away to a lower league team.
Port Vale.
Port Vale. In that Port Vale team, we still had we still had, I think, maybe Gabriel or Saliba played that match. One of the two there. No, Trossard started that match. I think Zubimendi was on as well. So I mean, there were quite a few that kind of spine there. So I wouldn't be surprised if we see a few of Sunday's squad start that match, then maybe get rotated as the game goes on. I'll be interested to know what you boys think. Do you think this might be a chance to maybe even see Lewis Skelly end up in midfield? Because if we think about potentially Rice being unavailable and maybe us needing to play Marino as a centre forward, then to rotate with Gyökeres, could this be an opportunity for MLS to play in that kind of left 8 position where we all think he probably will end up in the future?
I think so. I think some people have said that that's the position that they're going to be looking at putting him in future. You know, Miles as the left 8, but I mean, you only have to look at what he did against Atletico. You know, for Martinelli's goal and the ability that he's got, the ball carrying ability he's got once he goes. Still a bit worried about him when he gets the ball and there's a bit of pressure, because he seems to even did it at the weekend where he kind of had the ball and he kind of held on for it too long, and then he tried to buy a free kick and then he's trying to grab the guy back, and you know, he's done that a couple of times this season. But going that way, he's unreal. So it's going to be interesting. Like you said, we've got options. We've got Hincapié. You know, he looks locked in as soon as he came on yesterday. And you know, and I'm pretty much guarantee, you know, he will start on Wednesday in some position, whether it's left centre back or left back, 100%. And it'd be great to get eyes on him. And yeah, I think I'll just have a look at the Neil's in the chat. How are you doing, Neil? So let's have a look at that lineup from the Port Vale game, as you mentioned it, Devin. So yeah, it was play Kepa, Mosquera, Saliba, White, Lewis Skelly, Norgard, Waneri, Eze, Marino, Saka, Martinelli. So yeah, from that, I think he played Marino pretty much up front. From that, Eze, Waneri, Norgard in the midfield with Saka and Martinelli either side. So yeah, fairly strong side. You'd be talking about the first team players at the time, you know. Saliba would have been one of them. Who else? Eze obviously just came to the team. Obviously, Odegaard was injured. You got to look at probably who he got on the bench. It was Zubimendi, Rice. Who else was there? Let's have a look. Zubimendi, Rice, Darwin, Raya, Gabriel. Yeah, so you know, had a strong bench. But yeah, I think he will rotate. I think at least 4 or 5 players, I think, will get rotated in. I think
the only reason why I think it'll be more is the focus. Like I said, the focus is the league.
Yeah,
I'd love to win the League Cup. I'm not one of those people that will go, oh, you know, under Wenger we kind of disrespected that cup a little bit, but the focus is the league, because everybody's talking. Say everybody outside of Arsenal is basically going, well, it has to be one of the big ones. It has to be the league or the Champions League. And a cup for me, and I've always said it, it's luck. It's how you are on the day. You can be the best team. If you were the best team in the world, you could still lose to the worst team in the world, because on the day you've not turned up. If it always went to the best team in the world, then teams like Real Madrid, Man City would win the league and Champions League every single season. It doesn't happen. Teams get knocked out by whoever turns up on the day. That's the beauty of cup competition football. I just think for Arteta, he will go, I want the league. If you ask him what one he wants the most, he'll tell you it's the league. Most managers will tell you to be champions of your country. Just goes to show that you've been consistent over that period of time. Yes, Champions of Europe is great as well, but it's a cup competition. You can lose to, like I said, you can lose to the worst team in Europe, and you go, okay, but it's a cup competition. They turned up, like, you know, even Palace losing to Larnaca. Larnaca's a small Cypriot side, for example.
Yeah,
I was there for I was in Cyprus for my birthday. So do you know what I mean? And but they're a small Cypriot side. But if you don't turn up, you can lose. We've seen us lose to small sides in the Champions League. You've seen Barcelona lose to Ruben Kazan in the Champions League. It can happen. The focus, like I said, it's 100% focus. Arteta will have to rotate the squad because these little niggling stuff that has just started to pop up, he will obviously be worried about, and he won't want to risk that or anybody picking up a longer injury that then has an effect on our league. And the league is 100% the focus for Arteta. And you ask him, he'll probably say the same. He'll tell you all competitions are important. He wants to win it all. But if you say to him, any manager, pick one, you'll go league. Because that's the testament. Say over 38 games, you were the strongest team. A cup competition especially when it gets to the knockout stages, it's okay. You got knocked out, but we're still the best team. But you got knocked out. Okay, but we were still the best team. We're still the best team in the world. Like Madrid can say that. City could say that when they won it and stuff like that. Liverpool could say it when they won it and stuff like that. You're still the best team in the world. In terms of Miles Lewis-Skelly, Dev, I think everyone has pretty much always said that he's going to end up in central midfield, and I think this is a good opportunity for him to play there. The whole thing with that he likes to do, Mike, like you always bring up about him holding off players and then almost trying to win a foul. I think that's a midfield thing. I think it's that trying to hold off players from midfield and then trying to get yourself free, to then drive on. When you do it at left back, it's not necessarily the same. Timber does it well because Timber's just a G, isn't it? Like, do you know what I mean? But Miles Lewis-Skelly's 19 years old and he's still learning his trade. He's a fantastic player, and he will continue to be a fantastic player. And when he finally does move into that central midfield role, he will just be a fantastic player. Absolute top draw.
Yeah, no doubt about that. Yeah, so it'd be good to see some of the Hayden boys on Wednesday. Obviously, Max, it'd be nice for him to get some minutes as well. Obviously, Ethan especially, but it keeps everybody locked in, doesn't it? It keeps everyone locked in if they're featured in a game like that. I think, I don't know, is it the quarterfinals after that, after this round? So to get into the quarters. And you've got a chance to get back to our second home, man. We need to get back to Wembley. We haven't been back to Wembley since 2020, man. That's too long.
If these stadium expansions go ahead, we might be going there a lot more simply, mate, a lot more regularly. Have you guys heard anything about that? Just touching on that quickly, because I have not seen anything official come out of the club. And I think the plans, depending on how they want to go about it, we know obviously Kroenkes, they've got that stadium out in LA for the Rams, and it's just like a marvel, right? Yeah. So we know them up the road, those who shall not be named, not any more fines. they rake it in whenever they've got any NFL there. I think they take home about $6 million a match day, just because they're able to host a multitude of different events there. Our owners have an NFL franchise with the Rams, so if they were to do like a massive stadium expansion like that, you'd have to say probably be away from the Emirates for at least a couple of seasons and be at Wembley for quite a while, because if we're going to do anything like the SoFi to the Emirates, it's going to take a while for that to happen. So I mean, I'm not against it. I do feel like would fill Wembley. I feel it'll be a good opportunity for people who don't get a chance to watch Arsenal play regularly get a chance to play. I don't particularly like watching football at Wembley, if I'm honest. I feel like the atmosphere gets lost. You're a bit too far away from the pitch. But at the same time, needs must, if it means that we can then add another 10, 20,000 seats to the stadium. And of course, the whole point of doing these renovations isn't really for the capacity for match-going fans. It's more to enable more corporate hospitality and for them to have multitude of events that happen. That's what it's really about. But if that's what ends up happening, then we might be at Wembley for a couple of years like them lot had to be. But how do you feel about that?
Well, you could go, Steve.
Okay, I'll answer it from a TFL point of view, because one person. What are you laughing for? Come on, guys. Someone said, "Oh, what about
mind the gap?" Is what we should be saying on this pod to the rest of the table.
No, somebody said, what about the capacity at the stations? I said, Wembley Stadium, 90,000 seater. I said, when I worked at TfL at Wembley Stadium station, Wembley Park, between Wembley Park and what's the other Wembley on the Bakerloo line, they got rid of like 90,000 people. Say 70,000 people, 40,000, 50,000 for Wembley Park. You get rid of that sort of number of people in about an hour and a half. So in midweek, yes, they have two lines, but Arsenal Station and Finsbury Park. I think Finsbury Park is the other one, isn't it? Up the road. You could easily get rid of enough people. Obviously, people go to Highbury and Islington as well. Holloway Road is obviously only because it's such a small station. It just doesn't have the capacity for it. So it can easily be done.
Yeah, it can be done. But again, going back to TfL, it's from what I've read, TfL were the ones that kind of messed up the deal, because the whole reason the Emirates was green lit was not only because of the finances, but it was the infrastructure around the stadium, i.e. Holloway Road. There's another tunnel. Apparently, there's another tunnel there's a disused tunnel under Holloway Road, which could easily have catered the extra capacity, but it's disused. And they were supposed to. The part of the plans was Arsenal to give TfL money to reactivate this tunnel, upgrade the station in a massive way, so they could cater with the demand from the public and obviously the residential, obviously, but also match day goers. And what TfL did with the money, they just went and said, "No, you know what? We're just going to upgrade Finsbury Park," and that's what they did, and it messed everything up really. So unless they go back to that and they reopen that tunnel and basically strip Holloway Road down to its bare bones and do it again, I think that's the only way they're going to be able to get away with having that extra capacity, really. And the fact that Drayton Park as well is right there and can't be used because apparently the platform is too small. Well, there's an easy way around it, isn't there? Can't you upgrade that station? Can't you extend it? Yeah. Or is it because it's too close to the bridges? I don't know.
They can. Short answer is,
so there are ways around it. There are ways to do it, but obviously in terms of the money, but in terms of getting it done, I think first and foremost we need to get something over the line in terms of on the pitch, and then if you're going to say to people, okay, we can go to you can park at Wembley for a couple of seasons, then we go back to this super upgraded stadium. It can be done, but I just think TfL need to not mess about this time and then suddenly turn left field and say, oh, we're just going to invest it in doing Finsbury Park up when there's a little bit of extra work, and Holloway Road would have been open after games, whereas now it's exit only, and it's crazy.
I think again, we've just to touch on Holloway Road and TfL and their spending. So before TfL was TfL and it was just London Underground, for example, if it was just London Underground, it's easily done. TfL's London Underground's money goes into TfL. London Underground pretty much bumps up all of TfL's finances. So the money, unfortunately, like they go, okay, well, we earmarked it for this, but actually we can do this station and give that more capacity, because I think with Finsbury Park, you've got two lines.
Yeah.
And that's the benefit. So if you can give them two lines and upgrade it so that there's more capacity in there, and then it's good. With Holloway Road, the main sticking point that I'll always think, depending on how they do it, it's that road crossing.
Yeah.
That's like you can't block off Holloway Road to allow all those many fans coming through and crossing over at that time. It would just cause absolute chaos on the roads. If they were to, I don't think they can do it, but if they could switch the entrance to that side, the stadium side, then it's great. But when you've got to cross that road and you've got to essentially block Holloway Road like they do with the other roads around, you can't really do it.
You think on the option, one of those options then could be to build. They must be able to build some sort of subway or
a subway or even
on that side of the, like I said, on the stadium side,
Yeah, or even a footbridge that takes people up and over.
Yeah. There's ways around it, man. It's just, again, as Devin said, it's money, but I think it's going to happen. I think they've put the story out there to gauge interest, to see what the fans and what AST are saying about it, and I think it's gonna happen. Eventually, but yeah, let's get this season sorted out first, and then we'll take it from there. But thanks, guys. It's been a great chat. An hour has just absolutely flown by. Devin, superb debut, mate. Really enjoyed your takes, man.
I appreciate you boys.
Really good stuff. Having me. And Steve, thanks very much, man. Again, as always, and thanks for all the support. Thanks for everyone chipping in with their comments. I really appreciate it. Sorry I didn't get a chance to read out through all of them tonight, but we'll be back on Wednesday night for a quick one. Me and Brian, hopefully talking about a successful progression through to the next round of the Carabao Cup. I think it's quarterfinals, but I think it's going to be the fifth round. So let's just leave it as that. And then we'll be back, obviously, on Sunday night with a recap of the Burnley game, and hopefully again another win, another 3 points, and before a top of the table clash against Sunderland, maybe if things work out with Granit Xhaka. Wow, who thought that? That's going to be interesting. But thanks very much. Thanks everyone for watching. Really appreciate it. Again, Devin, superb, mate. Thanks very much. Hope you enjoyed it, and have you back on again soon. Steve, as usual, you're you're part of the furniture, and we'll have you back, obviously. And obviously, just one from Neil. Thanks, Neil. Obviously, he put in a couple of bits. Sorry, so let's just go back. He's just going back to the Brighton game, saying that we will win the tie. Group is super hungry. Yes. And then obviously agreeing with the Prem is the most important. The squad is more capable of winning one of the big two and going for one of the ones in the domestic cups. And Brenny said, we'd love to get a league and FA Cup double for the full time or first treble. Yeah, that would be dreamland stuff. That would be. Timber is our thingy and top player. And he's talking about stadium. It's all forget that stadium as it stands now. Believe me, another 20 or 30k will be chaos. Yeah, they have to do something with the infrastructure. Holloway Road, man. You got to sort Holloway Road out, and if you can do something with Drayton Park, you've got to do something with that as well. It has to be done. Once we will win the Premier season, the Emirates will have a sealed history. I don't want to vacate for 2 years. Not found the expansion if it takes a long time. Yeah, true, very true. But yeah, let's see what happens. I'm sure I think if we do win the league and win a couple more trophies this season, I think everyone will be happy. Leave everyone in a happier headspace to make decisions like that rather than it is at the moment. But anyway, thanks guys. Thanks very, very much. Appreciate your time on this Monday. It is Monday, isn't it? Half term is just messing me up now. Monday evening. We'll be back on Wednesday. And all that's left to say is, come on, you Reds.
Newcastle, the central figure again. And he looks to trick right.